ABC's Once Upon a Time.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Once Day. But unfortunately, we're not getting a new episode of Once Upon a Time for about 10 weeks, which really sucks. But at least we have Once Upon a Time news to discuss, and I really appreciate all of you who are sending me links to these Once Upon a Time articles. So let's dive right into it. So the first news story is Dorothy is returning to Oz to face Zelena, and I think that's a really cool concept. Dorothy was just in Kansas, and she was there, she was gone. She threw water on Zelena, but Zelena faked her death, and then Zelena, as the wizard, gave her the silver slippers, and Dorothy was sent back to Oz. But we haven't seen her since. We don't even know what happened to her. So I'm really liking the idea that Dorothy's going to be older. She's going to be in her late 20s, early 30s, and she's going to be this warrior for goodness, and she's going back to Oz to take on the greatest evil the realm has ever seen. Dorothy, in the Book of Records, we believe, was supposed to take on this great evil and was supposed to fulfill the prophecy of being the sorceress from the West. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if they will stay canon to that prophecy with the show. I really think it'll be a really cool concept. And the Oz mythology that they did in season 3 was interesting, but they just touched it. There's so much more they could do. So I'm really looking forward to more Oz, more Zelena, and hopefully Dorothy will be in a couple episodes. And I'm gonna guess somehow Dorothy and Zelena are gonna both end up in Storybook. I doubt they're gonna kill off Dorothy. That wouldn't be very smart. So the next story to discuss is there are characters returning for the second half of the season. And those characters are Merida, Mulan, Ruby, King Arthur, Guinevere, and that's awesome as well because a lot of us are saying, why wasn't the Camelot story arc wrapped up? I guess they have plans for Merida, King Arthur, and Guinevere for 5B, and I really can't wait to check out what will be happening. Merida has this vendetta against Arthur, and since she got her memories back, she remembers, but Arthur doesn't have his memories back, but I believe his killing of Merida's father took place prior to our heroes landing in Camelot. So I bet Arthur does know who he killed. So anyway, we're going to get the Camelot story arc wrapped up during the Underworld arc, which is, I think, very much needed. I'm really glad that the writers aren't, just throwing these characters away. Merida was a really cool character, but I felt that she slowed down 5B, or 5A. So I'm really glad that she's going to be in 5B just to wrap up her storyline. Then maybe she'll go back to Dumbrock to be with her mother and her brothers. And also, I really can't wait to get rid of King Arthur and Guinevere, and I really hope they're able to break Arthur's control over Guinevere. So that'll be a really nice thing to have. Mulan and Ruby are supposedly going to be the new LGBT relationship on the show. Supposedly, I don't have that confirmed tonight. I do know that we are getting that relationship. If it's Mulan and Ruby, it's foreshadowed in the Bear King, but it has been confirmed yet. So who knows, but all we know is that Merida, Mulan, Ruby, and King Arthur, and also Guinevere are coming back for 5B for a couple episodes, or maybe just one, which is a very nice concept to at least wrap up some storylines and maybe start a brand new one. And then the last bit of information that I have is we're gonna find out why Emma doesn't accept Hook's death, but she accepted Neil's. A lot of us are saying maybe Neil will be in the underworld. A lot of us are saying maybe Neil will be in the underworld, or why isn't Emma mourning Neil as much as she was mourning Hook? I think Hook was her one true love. I think Neil was someone that she liked and maybe loved-ish. I know I'm kind of really dissecting it a little bit more than I should, but I really didn't feel the chemistry with Michael Jamin Rames and Jennifer Morrison, and I really never felt it with Emma and Neil, and I really don't think Neil was her one true love. I think she might have had feelings of love towards Neil, but I think Hook is her true love. That's why if Emma's plan of splitting Hook's heart, or her heart in half and giving it to Hook, that'll work because I think Hook is her one true love. So those are all the interesting storylines that I have. So we're going to find out why Emma is more upset over Hook's death and why she needs to save him, why what's going on with Zelena, not why Zelena, but what's going to be going on with Zelena and Dorothy, and we're going to figure out the end of the Camelot arc during some point in 5B. Also, we're going to get a little bit more of Robin Hood's backstory, and we're going to find out why the underworld works. Obviously, figuring out why the underworld works, that just makes sense because they're in the underworld. Robin Hood's backstory, do we really care about that? I guess that's a reason to bring back Christine Lang to play Marion again, but I really don't care for that story. So either way, we're getting some pretty cool concepts for season 5B. And also, I did want to say we have the names of who's been cast to play Hercules and Megara. And those actors are, I'm sorry, I have my notes right here, but I scrolled away from the page, and that is very unprofessional of me in this video, but I do want to at least get the names out for you guys. So, Casey Ron is playing Megara, and Casey Ron played Abigail Hobbs in Hannibal. She's a pretty good actress, but if she can pull off Meg's sass, that's another thing. And then we have Jonathan Weitzel is playing Hercules. I'm not a big fan of his casting. He just doesn't seem like he can pull off the part because he doesn't really look like the way I imagined Hercules to look. But that's just me. What do you guys think? At least now we know who the two actors are to play our Greek mythology characters, and we already knew that Greg Germann is playing the Distinguished Gentleman, aka Hades. But which of these new storylines are you most excited for? I'm personally most excited for Dorothy versus Selena and wrapping up the Camelot arc. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Sorry that I kind of had some funky stammering issues, but you know, that is life. So let me know your favorite story in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.